An employee health nurse is providing a teaching about sleep promotion to a group of newly licensed nurses. Which of the following statements should the nurse include? Taking cool showers before bedtime can help with sleep. Go to bed when you're feeling tired, and if you're feeling restless while attempting to go to sleep, go to another room and listen to soft music. To promote nighttime sleep, limit daytime naps to 1 hour. And the last one, exercising 1 hour before bed can promote relaxation and sleep. Okay, and now let's go over the question. Okay, so taking a cool shower before bedtime can help with sleep. So no, because cool showers will wake you up. Have you ever heard of people saying like splash cold water on your face to wake you up? If that wakes you up, you want to take a warm shower before bedtime to help sleep. Go to bed when you are tired. If you're restless while attempting to go to sleep, go to another room and listen to soft music. Yes, this is a good one because going to another room is the key in this statement. So, like, if you want to read a book or do anything and you're having trouble doing it in bed, they recommend, especially through ATI, they recommend you leave the room and do it. See, to promote nighttime sleep, limit daytime naps to 1 hour. So, no, you actually don't want to take any naps, like, at all. When talking about sleep hygiene, this is just gonna ruin your sleep rhythm. So no, never see anything about naps. That's not the answer. Exercising 1 hour before bedtime can promote relaxation and sleep. Again, they're trying to trick you by adding exercise because yes, exercise is good. You want to get exercise to wear out your body and it helps with sleep. However, before bedtime is just going to increase your cortisol. Think of all the hormones that are released during exercise, adrenaline, all the things that can really wake you up. So anytime it says in the evening or bedtime, that is not, especially for exercise or any sort of activity, that is not the answer. Now, if this said in the morning, this would be an answer, but since it says nighttime, it is not, so the answer is B. A nurse manager is conducting an in-service about the physiological functions of sleep for a group of staff nurses. Which of the following statements by the nurses indicate an understanding of the teaching? Sleep is a process that decreases the development of new neural pathways that assist with retention of knowledge and memorization. Now, if you're reading this and you're going through it, let's be honest, like just mark this one out. Sleep is a problem that decreases development. No, it's sleep is a very helpful process. Why would this be the answer? Okay, the brain and neurons continue to communicate with each other during sleep to remove toxins that build up in the brain while awake. The circadian rhythm is an external process that controls sleep-wake cycle, and clients experience the highest quality of sleep when they complete 3 out of the 4 stages of sleep. Okay, give you time to answer. Pause it. Okay, let's go over the answers. Okay, so the brain and neurons continue to communicate with each other during sleep to remove toxins that build up in the brain while awake. Yes, so neurons are constantly communicating with each other through sleep. You're constantly going through repair during sleep, and in each stage, so we know that N3 is very much repair of the body, and the REM sleep is repair of the brain. So their circadian rhythm is an external process that controls the sleep-wake cycle. So the key word in this is external process. No, circadian rhythm might be regulated by external things, but it is an internal process that happens inside of you, so that is not correct. And clients experience the highest quality of sleep when they complete 3 out of the 4 stages of sleep. Again, 3 out of the 4, how would that be the highest quality if you didn't even complete a full stage of sleep? So this one is just process of elimination. It's definitely B. A nurse is reviewing the concept of central sleep apnea with a colleague. Which of the following statements by the colleague indicates an understanding of central sleep apnea? Okay, A, common causes of central sleep apnea are opioid overdose and congested heart failure. Central sleep apnea is caused by obesity and an inactive tongue. Central sleep apnea is easily diagnosed using polysomnography. LOL. Okay. Central sleep apnea is related to the recurrent episodes of upper airway collapse and destruction. Okay, give you time to answer. Okay, let's go over this question. So, what do we know about sleep apnea, central sleep apnea specifically? Well, we know this condition occurs when the brain temporarily fails to send signals to the muscles that cause breathing, leading to periods of apnea, which is basically pausing of breathing throughout the night, and this is very much a brain issue. So common causes of central sleep apnea are opioid overdose and congestive heart failure. Well, yes, what do we know about opioids? We know opioids block pain signals in the brain. So central sleep apnea, they both have something to do with the brain. And also opioids are known to have, there's a big side effect you're gonna see a lot is opioid respiratory depression. That is the first thing you assess is their breathing. So this very much so goes hand in hand with each other. Okay, central sleep apnea is caused by obesity and inactive tongue. No. So central sleep apnea is a brain issue. This is talking about OSA, the obstruction sleep apnea. So in that, obesity is a risk factor, and the tongue going in the back of the throat blocking it is an obstruction. So this one's talking about OSA. Central sleep apnea is diagnosed using polysomnography. So no, polysomnography can only do OSA. So yes, it is a also easily. First of all, easily. If you see easily in a answer choice, that's not the answer. Something is easily. That's just wrong. But also that's an OSA one as well. So this one's basically you got to know the difference between central sleep apnea versus OSA. And then central sleep apnea is related to the recurrent episodes of upper airway collapse and obstruction. No. What did we say? OSA is the obstruction one. Yes, you can't breathe, and that could be, you could think of it as an obstruction, but it's more of a brain issue. So, again, this is OSA. The only correct answer is A. A nurse is caring for a client who takes over-the-counter sleep aid medication every evening. Which of the following findings should the nurse identify as a potential adverse effect of over-the-counter sleep aid medications? A. Hyperactivity. B. Diarrhea. C. Excessive salivation. Salivation. Oh, man. These words are so hard to pronounce when you're being recorded. Okay, urinary retention. Give you time to respond. Okay, over-the-counter medication, think Benadryl, think anything that you can buy in a store. And let's go over the answer choices. So hyperactivity. So no, why would a sleep medication give you hyperactivity when it's supposed to have you go to sleep? And also it's more likely to cause daytime drowsiness, not hyperactivity, especially if you're taking a lot of them and you're taking it consistently. All right, diarrhea. No, so actually this causes constipation, not diarrhea. Excessive salvation. Why can I not? Salvation. When I think of salvation, I think of like Salvation Army. I don't know why, just salvation. Okay, anyway. So this causes dry mouth, not, it really dries you up, it makes you constipated, and then urinary retention is a big one. So this is gonna cause you to not go pee in the middle of the night. Sometimes I think of when I'm taking Benadryl, I'm like, oh, so I'm actually not gonna pee, and it helps you sleep because you're not going to the bathroom a million times. I don't think that's the direct purpose of it, but it is a side effect that helps you sleep. So. Okay, a nurse is caring for a client who needs to be awakened for the administration of oral medication. Which of the following findings should indicate that the client was in stage 3 of the sleep cycle when awaking? So what do we know about stage 3? It's N3 sleep. I'll give you time to answer. Okay, so N3 is the deepest stage of sleep. You're gonna see delta waves in this stage of sleep. So the client was easily awakened. No, if you're in the deepest sleep, it's actually gonna be harder for you to wake up. This is more so talking about N1 when when you're drifting off to sleep, you're kind of not really 1,000% to sleep. That's what it's talking about, but definitely not the N3. The client states that they're having a pleasant dream. So what stage do you have vivid dreams in? REM sleep. So this is not correct, which REM sleep is stage 4. We're talking about stage 3. The client experiences mental cloudiness for 30 to 60 minutes. So yes. So the nurse should expect mental cloudiness for about 30 to 60 minutes because you are in the deepest sleep. You're waking up, you don't know what's going on. Another thing to mention about stage 3 is this is when muscle tissue and bones regenerate and the immune system strengthens. So a lot of things are going on, making it even harder to wake up. And the last question, prior to being awakened, the client's breathing was irregular and their heart rate was elevated. Okay, so no, the irregular breathing and increased heart rates are more so indication of stage 4 of the sleep cycle, not as much as the third sleep. Okay, a nurse is reviewing the plan of care for a client who is admitted with insomnia and recent weight gain. Which of the following is a benefit of increased sleep that could help further weight gain for the client? Increased ghrelin production, increased leptin production, decreased hypocretin levels, and decreased melatonin levels. I'll give you some time to answer. Okay, increased ghrelin production. No, sleep helps. Okay, when you sleep, this decreases ghrelin production, which is the hunger hormone, which makes you less hungry. So that's why you want to get more sleep. Increased leptin production. Yes, so when you sleep more, you have leptin, which this is the hunger reducing hormone. So the more that you sleep, the more leptin you will produce. And also, this is why you should get a full night's rest, and this is why diabetes is a risk factor or something that could happen when you have insomnia and you're not getting enough sleep. Decreased hypocretin levels. No, this has nothing to do with weight loss. This is more something to do with narcolepsy. Decreased melatonin levels. Again, melatonin is just to help you sleep. It has nothing to do with weight gain. So the correct answer is increased leptin production. Okay, a nurse is caring for an older adult client who reports that they wake up frequently during the night. The nurse should identify which of the following is a characteristic of older adult sleep patterns that might explain the client's frequent awakenings. So, older adults tend to spend more time in stage 4 sleep. Older adults tend to spend more time in stage 3 sleep. Older adults tend to spend less time in stage 1 sleep. And older adults tend to spend more time in stage 2 sleep. I'll let you answer. Okay, let's go over it. Older adults tend to spend more time in stage 4. Definitely not. So stage 3 and stage 4 are the deepest sleeps. So they're going to be the hardest to wake up. So A and B just cannot be correct. Another thing too is stage 3. Older adults get less time in stage 3. That's a big one so just remember that older adults get less time in stage 3. So A and B cannot be correct. Older adults tend to spend less time in stage 1. So no. Older adults tend to spend more time in stage 1 because it's a very light kind of sleep. You're basically transitioning to sleep, and a lot of people especially older adults, have trouble sleeping, so they're going to spend a lot more time in this stage, which also makes it harder to sleep. So older adults will spend a lot more time in bed, but they won't spend more time to sleep, if that makes sense. Okay, older adults tend to spend more time in stage 2 sleep. So yes, this is really the only correct answer, the only answer that makes sense. So stage 2 is a latter stage of sleep, more than stage 3 and 4. This can contribute to the client's frequent awakenings because of environmental factors such as noise, and they are more likely to arouse somebody in stage 2 and stage 1. So, okay, I think that's all for now. I got these all from ATI. And you're probably going to see me do a lot more of these kind of videos because, one, it helps me go over the practice questions and it helps me have motivation to study. And then also, it's just I don't have a lot of time. I only have 15 minutes, so I don't really have time to go into practice questions on just my review videos. So, yeah.